Today we're going to talk about everybody's favorite part of camping. That is the dump station.
The fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's intimidated by this, but everybody has to do it, so you may as well bite the bullet and learn how to do it right.
And we're going to break this video down into 3 steps. The first step is going to be parts of the RV water system. Then it's going to be toilet maintenance, and then the steps to actually dumping at the dump station.
That's right.
Now,
easy as 1, 2, 3.
Everybody is going to have mistakes at some point, and we learn from our mistakes.
A rite of passage.
Yep. We've made some mistakes, and hopefully we're going to help you so that you can learn from our mistakes so that you don't have to make those mistakes too.
But you'll probably still make a mistake at some point. That's okay. The first thing we're going to talk about is parts to the RV water system.
Freshwater tank, also known as potable water. When you go to a campground,
that's the good water.
You'll see the signs that say potable water. That means that's water for drinking, and that's what you put in your freshwater tank. The freshwater tank is usually the biggest tank on your trailer, and ours in this trailer happens to be 49 gallons.
Next, the gray water tank.
The gray water tank, that is everything from your sinks and shower goes into the gray water tank. So generally that water is going to be soapy water with probably some food particles from the sink, but it's not real bad. It's not sewage. It's just dirty dishwater and shower water, that sort of thing. And the gray tank, yeah, it's normally a little smaller, and ours happens to be 33 gallons.
Okay. And lastly is the black water tank.
Yuck. That's the tank that has the toilet waste.
Yep.
Liquid and solid waste that goes down the toilet, it goes into the black water tank. And again, that one is usually similar in size to the gray water tank, and ours is exactly the same size at 33 gallons. Now, some trailers actually have 2 gray water tanks. Ours only has 1. And if you have a really big trailer and you have multiple bathrooms, maybe you'll have more than 1 black tank. So you need to know what you have in your trailer. We have our gray and black water tank all coming out at the same spot, and our freshwater tank is in a different area. You don't want to have inputs anywhere near each other for the fresh and the black and gray water, because you don't want to have any contamination. Number 2 is toilet maintenance.
Part of your RV toilet maintenance is choosing the right toilet paper. We've done a video on this, so you can refer back to that. You want something that's going to break down and not clump up in your toilet, causing backup. An easy way to test this is to take approximately 4 sheets of toilet paper, put it in a glass that's half full of water, a jar full of water, let it sit for maybe 20 minutes, shake it up and see how much it's dissolved. If it's dissolved, it's good to use in your RV toilet. If not, it's not. Another point to remember is liquid is your best friend. The more water that you have in the toilet, the less of a buildup you'll have. So fill it up with pee and water and it'll drain much easier. And don't forget to put in your RV black tank treatment of choice to help break down those solids and reduce odors. If you don't have enough liquid in there, you're going to form a poop pyramid, and that can be difficult to get rid of. So you want to have your black tank at least 2/3 full to let gravity do the work when you're emptying. If you're hooked up to sewage when you're camping, keep the gray and black valves closed so you can get an appropriate amount of buildup and let the gravity do its work when you do drain it. So if you keep the valve open when you're hooked up to sewage, the poop and the toilet paper is just going to go plop and just sit in the tank. It's not going to flow out anywhere. So you need to keep it closed so you can add the appropriate amount of liquid, and then when it's 2/3 full, you open it and then it'll easily come out.
Number 3, steps to dumping. Put my gloves on, always have the gloves on. We use disposable gloves. Some people use reusable gloves. Then they need to store them away separately from everything else. These just go right in the garbage. Grab our sewage hose, also known as a stinky slinky. A lot of trailers, most trailers I think, would keep it in the bumper there.
Some people store it in a Rubbermaid bin, or you can buy those PVC tubing and attach it with cable ties.
One very important thing down here, always make sure that these 2 valves are closed.
Always.
This is the black valve. It's got a black handle on it. This is the gray valve. It's got a gray handle on it. Make sure those are closed before you take off this cap. Believe me, I've done it before. I had no idea the black was open. I open this, It was a mess. It was an absolutely disgusting mess. So I never make that mistake again. Please learn from my mistake. So they are both closed. I can take this off. I still take it off kind of gingerly. Make sure there's nothing there. It's good and clean. Good. Hook this on and make sure it's hooked on good. You don't want it falling off during the process.
What's the clear thing?
Have the clear piece on there so I can see everything coming out. Kind of disgusting when you first see it, but that's really good for the black water flush. When you're cleaning it out, you want to see clean water come through there. Once you see clean water come through, you know your system is clean. And you always start with the black tank first, and then you do the gray tank after you close the black tank valve. You do the gray tank second because the gray tank is mostly like soapy water and stuff. Gray is your sinks, shower, that sort of thing. Black is just your toilet. So you want to get all the toilet stuff out first, then you get all the sink stuff out, which helps clean your sewage hose. Let's open her up.
Wait.
Let's put this end in first.
Jumping the gun. You might want to put something heavy because sometimes it likes to pop out.
That's why there's a rock there. A lot of people use the rock. Okay.
All right. We won't watch that part. Where should I?
Sure. So a lot of people have asked, when you get to the dump station, and you have a hose like this that's not threaded, how do you do a black water flush? Well, first of all, you don't have to do a black water flush every time you are at the trailer dump station. I'd recommend if there's a lineup behind you, you don't spend the time to do it. You're going to slow everything down. But in a situation like this, there's nobody around. It's very quiet. We've got the time. That's where I use something like this. And what I've done is I've taken a piece of old garden hose and I cut off the end of it. I have the male end on here. And then I put a, oh, I forget what this is called.
Clamp of some sort.
Yeah, I forget what it's called. It's a, yeah, an adjustable clamp there. I put that on there. And then I heated up the hose and expanded this end here. I actually expanded it by just shoving another screwdriver in and the handle was the right size. So I expanded that end a little bit and then it stays like that. Then all I do...
How did you heat it?
Used a heat gun. And then I can put this on here. Whoop. Move the clamp up. Hose clamp.
Hose clamp.
Thank you very much. And then tighten it on. Okay. So I've got it on there. Take it to the black water flush.
Make sure it is the black water flush, not the city water connection.
Right, this one says city water connection. This is liquid waste. That's your black water flush. Obviously you don't want to put it in your cable TV hookup. Tighten that on there. So now I'm going to turn on the black water flush.
It is hooked in there.
Yep. Oh great. They got a very good hose here. This poor connection has nothing to do with my hookup. You see my hookup is good. The black is finished right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the valve and let the black water flush go in and clean out the tank a little bit. And then I'm going to pull out the valve again and we should see another big kind of glob of toilet paper and stuff come out. You don't want to leave this on for too long. You definitely do not want to forget about it and fill up your black tank because then it'll start coming up through the toilet and that is a heck of a mess. So you just do this for, 30, 40 seconds and then you go and undo it again.
So what would we do in the case of there is no black water flush on your trailer?
Yeah, there is no black water flush or a situation like this where the hose is so bad that black water flush isn't doing really well. Well, that's where Cheryl does her magic. And she's going to show you what she does right now.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is just open it up. And any unused water we have in our Reliance jugs, or whatever jug you have, we open her up. And let gravity work Actually, before we left the campsite, I used my dishwater bin from Breakfast Dishes. It was soapy water. I dumped it down the toilet as well. So he had the black flush open and saw if there was any more stuff coming out, and he said it was all good. So what I'm going to do is just add a couple of jugs of, or a couple of toilet bowl fulls of water. 1, 2, and then just add our TST, biodegradable enzyme breakdown, and then flush that down again so we have enough water in the tank that there's nothing going to be sticking at the bottom. And lastly, I have a bit of water left. You always want to keep water at the bottom of the toilet here, so you don't want the seal to dry up. So you just have a little bit there. And that's all there is to it.
Another thing you can do to help clean out the tank a little better is to use a tank wand. The wand sprays out with high pressure in multiple directions. If you happen to be at a park that has 2 dump stations that are side by side, and you take the left one, you can then use the hose for the right one to attach the wand to bring in the door of your RV and use it in the toilet. You flush the toilet to open the hole, then you put the wand in and turn on the water. Then rotate the wand back and forth and up and down, trying to get the water to spray along all edges of the inside of the black water tank. While Cheryl is putting some fresh water in the black water tank and putting the chemical in, I can switch over to the gray tank and start emptying it. You can see it's nice clean looking water coming through there, mostly soapy water. Most of our dishwater we don't put down the drain here. Most of the dishwater we end up putting in a bucket and taking to a vault toilet and dumping. So there's not a lot of food particles and stuff in here. It's just pretty much what comes off of us in the shower. I should mention, before you open your gray water release valve, close your black water one. You don't want any contamination from the black getting into the gray at all. Let's just kind of keep them separate. So only one is ever open at the same time. So it looks like the gray is all done. I'll close it. Make sure both are good and closed. Make sure they're good and closed. You don't want to have the mess that I had. Then you can just disconnect this. Turn there. May as well put the cap on right away, or you'll forget to put the cap back on. Again, I learned from my mistakes. It's on. Then what I normally do, I leave that end in there. I take this to clean it out. Kind of clean it out a little bit. And as you can see how I'm doing this is how a lot of people do it. You do not ever want to make the mistake of using this for your freshwater fill up. I've seen it done before. This is highly contaminated with sewage, feces, and things. You can get all sorts of diseases from this. So definitely never use this. And it's usually in the provincial parks, it's always red, which is the non-potable water, and blue is potable water. So never fill up your fresh tank with this hose.
Double check your signs if you're not sure.
There, and this is pretty much rinsed out now. And I can go and put it back. And I don't have to detach anything, don't have to detach this head, don't have to detach that. It all fits in my bumper. You gotta watch out, water's gonna come out a little bit here. Now that's why some people use a plastic tube to put this into to prevent rust from happening in the bumper.
Our old trailer, we had the PVC tubing.
Yeah, that's how it just came. So I don't know how long it will take to rust this out. We've had this trailer for 5 years and it looks pretty solid. And that's pretty much that. What's left is, I've got these gloves on. Mm-hmm. You want to take them off the proper way. So you want to grab a hold, turn the glove inside out,
and then put your fingers inside the other one at the base.
That's right, put it in the base there, pull it out over top.
Yeah.
So you're not touching any of the outside of the glove.
And then there's usually a trash can at the site, but if not, I always keep, you know, those doggy poop bags from Dollarama. I keep a bunch of them in the truck just in case.
Well, Because what I'm doing now is I'm grabbing this, which probably people with the gloves on have grabbed before. I'm going to grab this, put it in, and then Cheryl always looks after me at this point.
I'll get the wipes out.
By giving me some wipes or some Isogel. So Cheryl gave me a hand sanitizing wipe. Wipe down my hands real good. You can also use hand sanitizer. We like using the wipes because then I can wipe down anything else, such as this latch that I touched. And it's all good. And when I go to the garbage with this, I use it to open the garbage. And I'm done.
Well done.
And that is how you do a dump at the trailer dump station.
So there you have it. It's as simple as that. It doesn't change. It's pretty much the same process every time. So you just repeat it and you get better each time.
Yeah, you want to get into a routine. Once it's a routine, you won't forget any steps, and it's nice, quick, and efficient.
Easier when there's two people. You have somebody do the inside part and somebody do the outside part, and it's like clockwork.
So nothing to fear, and we're hoping you don't have any poopsies in your future.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see you in the next video.